Hello everyone, this is Ketchup here. Now, apologies for the slightly later delivery of this video today. It was meant to go live earlier, but I've had to record it a little bit later than I expected, just due to some technical troubleshooting. But we should be good to go and good to capture what this video is all about, which is the water ball or weather ball, the attack that if I turn her off, random attack, because that's something I'm going to show later, it is the move that is, one of the classic rain attacks. You can throw them into multiple directions using the Amplify, and on its own, it's a standard projectile. I've had a few people, kind of like the lightning video, to be honest, asking me that they want to use the rain ball, or the weather ball, or the water ball, whatever you want to call it, and they're kind of having a hard time maximizing its effectiveness. So this video is going to be not really telling you how you should use it, more so giving you some advice for things to consider if you haven't considered them already, on top of some tricks that you might not know about. So, starting with our first technique. So before I get into the technique, I've got to quickly mention what the water ball is. It is a projectile by itself, as we can see. And if you amplify it, you can throw them up, which launches them upwards. You can launch them down, which pops them up. You can just press no direction, and rain will throw them towards you. And finally, hold away, and they will go behind them and be super plus restand, which is something we'll cover a little bit later. So that's the extreme basic, just in case anyone's wondering how it works. Now, finally, onto the first technique. So, technique number one. I'm going to do one thing which will help you practice this. I'm going to set the AI to random attack block, which means that she'll just block randomly. Sometimes she'll get hit, sometimes she won't. Looks like she's going to just choose to get hit every time here. But the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to throw the weather ball from this range, and I really want you to keep an eye out on what happens here. Are you looking at my inputs? If not, let me explain what's going on. The amplified weather ball, or water ball, I'm going to keep calling it weather ball, I'm really sorry, it's what I've called it for years and it's probably not going to change. What happens is, on block, this doesn't come out on amplify. On hit, it does. So there is truly no reason not to amp this right as it connects, if you have the intention of it actually being amped. You might just be throwing it as a regular projectile and you don't want to combo off it. However, if you're throwing the weather ball and you're always looking for it to connect, right as it hits the opponent, there's no reason not to amp it. There's no punishment. Because on block, nothing happens. And on hit, you do get the amp. So this is just technique number one. When you throw the weather ball and you're looking for it to connect to confirm at any range, just hit that amp right as it connects, because you have nothing to lose. On block, it doesn't come out, and on hit, it does, and you can get your follow-up. Because you're already looking for it to combo, you can get whatever follow-up you're after. So that is a small but important thing to remember. Secondly, the different conversions you can go for. Rain's movement and his buttons do allow him, thankfully, to convert off any distance of the weather ball. If the weather ball connects up close for combos, that's something I'm covering in a bit. However, at this kind of distance, you probably aren't going to want to throw the opponent right up in the air, because it's unoptimal. You can't dash in and get the larger damage that I'll show you a little bit later. If you're at this range and you're doing a weather ball when it hits, just kind of leave it on its own, rain throw them towards you, and then you can get your button. You can see I'm in range. I'm a little bit later because I'm really bad at talking and playing, but check this out. Super easy basic combo. That's just a 2-4-2 grab, and that's it. And that's, a simple pickup, and we're kind of sitting at this range, we're hovering around, I throw a weather ball, it hits, let it go on its own, and then you can convert into whatever you want to do. That is a simple combo, nothing complicated about that. My point is, you're always looking for it, and you amplify just in case, and if it hits, you've already got that combo in mind. Now that's kind of jump distance, right? Letting the regular weather ball rock, because you want to bring them towards you. If you're absolute max distance, believe it or not, you can still get a full combo. Well, I say full combo. It is a combo, technically, but you can get more damage than you might expect, because check this out. We get this. Just a regular old Argus plunge from the absolute fullest of full screen. That's one thing, but some of you might remember that he has to travel the right amount of distance, and then if it connects, he can crushing blow, which, from full screen off the weather ball, just so happens to work. So, obviously, it's not something you're going to do all the time because it's 2 bars for 30%, but the point remains that from max distance, you can actually trigger the crushing blow. So, it means that at every range the weather ball hits, you can, in theory, get some kind of damage, which, if you are hitting that amplify on block or hit just in case, you've always got that conversion in mind. So, be mindful of what part of the screen you're at that influences whether you throw them towards you or straight up into the air. Secondly, combo conversions. You have so many different combo paths, and even in this variation I take the Geyser so I can get a full combo off the 1-3-3. And that's just one launcher. We have the super kick as well, which, you know, is a very classic rain launcher in its own right. So we have a lot of combo pathing, but the question always is, which one do we prioritize? The answer for that is simple. If it's 1-3-3, you still have to do something like Geyser, because 1-3-3 on its own will not combo into the weather ball, so that is completely out of our hands. Although 1-3 weather ball can work, but if you're looking to do 1-3-3 on its own, because you're doing the 1-3-4 and you're trying to mix it up, the 1-3-3 tends to be a common option. The Geyser, we can still use that to combo, but off any other button, if damage is your objective, weather ball is your conversion tool. The super kick can still exist, because remember, super kick off a jump kick, you can OS the super kick, and on block nothing happens. On hit, you tend to be able to pick up the super kick from multiple ranges. So that will be super kick's purpose in this, because it's your jump kick option select. That just is much more consistent across multiple jump-ins. But if we're on the ground and we land a hit, so I'm going to do 2-4-2, right? I'm going to weather ball. That is going to bag a lot more damage. Let me teach you a simple B&B from both of them, and I want you to instantly compare the damage here. So I'm going to combo into super kick. This is a standard combo, 1 bar. This is something that you would normally go for, I think, from just 2-4-2 into super kick. 27%, not bad at all, to be honest. However, if we do the exact same confirm and we weather ball, we get 31%, and it even allows us to end in the Geyser, which is very, very plus on hit. So the same confirm allows us to get damage that is more so, and the weather ball really is the skeleton key for that. I did a down 2 confirm there. You can actually simplify it and do something less complicated by using the downwards direction. Same ender, pretty much 1% less, just shy of. So that kind of confirm is much easier because it doesn't require any directional input, just a little bit of patience. The trick to getting this down one is you wait a split second. So I'm going to just confirm into this weather ball, hold down, late, and then there you go. Pops them up high enough. You just wait a split second. Whatever console you're playing on, there might be slightly different levels of delay. Just look for the visual cue. Slight delay, back one, rest of the string, you're good to go. So that is pretty much the basics of the combo. If you're going to be comboing into something in this variation, just make sure it's the weather ball, because that's where your damage comes from. We get the splat, we get the plus on hit. If you're taking Geyser, you can end it in 1-3 charge if you wish, and that will be universal across all variations. Unless you take the charge, which I don't use. But that is the kind of first layer of the combo. So I've talked about using the weather ball as your conversion tool instead of super kick, and it does bag you more damage, but this is where I want to give you the options for different combo pathing, basically. You actually get a lot of creativity with this weather ball. However, the weather ball does mean you have to do slightly different areas of movement, I suppose, when the weather ball connects off different hits. If I do 2-4-2 into weather ball and I hold up, look at how close Melina is. But if I do something like back 2 weather ball, she gets knocked back, and she's significantly further away. This means, depending on the combo that you want to do, it basically means that your distance covered before you do the next hit will vary if you're going for big damage. What I mean is, if we're keeping things really simple, and we want to keep things nice and simple with a down throw, so if I do down throw here, hold down, this will confirm off any hit, right? Point blank, and the launch tends to be universal. So this combo of any button into down throw, late back 1, 2-4-2 into an ender, that will pretty much work off every touch. If you want to be greedy and go for the uppercut combos, you do need to walk forward before you do your uppercut at the right time. This can slightly change depending on whether you're against a large or a kind of small hurt box, but the walk forward into up throw, this is kind of what lets you get that really nice, meaty cross-up uppercut. But you need to get it with enough height to spare. With not enough height, the uppercut will work, but you're not going to get anything else. With just enough height, it's perfectly fine. Now, the uppercut, the highest damage you can get, at least what I found so far, is the down 2, which was done too early there. Always got to keep in mind doing it too early. There you go. That'll be fine. 31%, or closer to 32, really. But my whole point is that it requires you to move a little bit to put yourself in position. It is the MK9 Rain player in me that really favors these uppercut combos. It feels nice and nostalgic being able to do this. But off certain linkers or buttons, the opponent gets knocked a little bit further away, right? I'm sure you've noticed that already. So what that means is sometimes you need to walk a different amount. Some of the larger characters, you can do things like, you know, throw into up, into dash in, uppercut. And I guess against Melina you can as well, actually, which is nice. It's much harder against the small hurtbox characters to do the dashing version, but an easy version off most buttons will be the up throw, walk forward, and that's when your down 2 comes out real crisp. You can see I even had so much time that the 1-3 whiffed, so it's even possible to do it early, which in the context of this combo is good because it means you've got a lot of room to get it right. So the down 2 combos, they do just require a little bit more timing. If you want to do the same thing in the corner, you can. It just requires a backdash. Buffer your backdash and then get your down 2. It actually becomes easier in the corner, I find. But again, it's all about the dash buffer. So do 2-4-2, throw, up, backdash, and then you get your down 2. You're kind of in perfect position to get a down 2 that doesn't knock them out the corner, and then you can pick up with something else. So the art of getting a down 2 just takes a bit of practice, but as you can see here, I'm pretty much doing all this live and it's working fine. So if I can do it, trust me, you can as well. The last thing I want to cover here is just the 2-bar damage with Wither Ball. I'm going to be honest, I don't recommend it a lot of the time unless it will kill, because you don't get a huge amount of extra damage for the meat you spend. You know, basic B&B could be 2-4-2, up, dash in, uppercut, which I did too early because, you know, I'm really good at video games. This will work. Down throw. And then whatever string you want. The forward 2 grab is easy. You can get a tiny bit more damage with a 2-4-2 grab in some situations. I think the smaller hurt boxes make it harder. But as you can see, it's not actually a huge amount of damage for 2 bars spent. So using the down throw of the ball tends to be your best ender because it always puts them close. You can end it with a couple of hits or a down 2 or whatever the hell you want, really. But I just wanted to mention that you can use this down throw as an ender. It's a lovely conversion tool, to be honest. Like if I hit like a jump kick and I do the ball, down throw, 2-4-2 grab, that will definitely work. And as you can see, for a jump kick, that's not bad damage at all. If you're looking for those kind of wayward confirms and you know the weather ball's going to hit, the down throw into an ender tends to be pretty consistent if I'm all... You know, it's good damage. It is good damage for something like a jump kick. The down toss tends to be your kind of conversion option. If you're doing something off the ground and you get the up toss, great. But if you're getting those hits that you're just looking to confirm, just throw the weather ball down. 2-4-2 grab tends to be a nice consistent ender. Not lab too much if you can get more damage, but look, that's still not bad damage at all, is it? So 2-bar confirms, I don't recommend it. However, you are able to use the down throw to get more damage. The final example I want to show with this is Crushing Blow. So using that exact same logic, let's do a down 2. Let's do a back 1. Down toss. 2-4-2 grab. As you can see, we just bagged 41%. Very simple, just a little bit of timing. The back 1, you have to delay it a little bit to make sure it doesn't whiff. But again, the art of the low ball that you can throw downwards allows you to pick them up and extend damage even further. Now, if moving is something that you don't enjoy, this was discovered to me by one of our supporters, Muffin UK. Shouts to you, bro. You can delay the weather ball a little bit, and it knocks them far away. And in some confirms, it actually means you don't need to dash under on some of these buttons. And what I mean by that is, if doing 2-4-2 into weather ball instantly, and you do the high throw, let's say you're not very good at moving in and walking under and kind of getting that reposition. If I do 2-4-2 into late amp, and then I down 2, I actually don't have to move at all. Now, I'm going to be honest, I actually don't like this method because the muscle memory for me is moving, and I get it much more consistently that way. But if moving mid-combo to do an uppercut is something that you struggle with, you can delay this input just a bit, and then it allows you to not move because she's been knocked further back. So this is a small detail, but an important detail for those that struggle to move mid-combo. This might be an easier way for you to obtain it. So keep that in mind. And I guess finally, to be honest, what I really want to demonstrate is something that I'm actually still thinking about how to utilize, because it could be interesting. However, I haven't quite figured it out myself, but I want to put this idea out there. Let's turn on frame data for player 1. If I catch weather ball, throw him away, you can see the animation of getting thrown down, plus 53 hit advantage. This basically means if I have a situation where I can spend the bar on the far throw, there's a restand situation, which is really, really, really plus. We know that rain has a crushing blow throw on both directions, and because I have the weather ball, I can confirm damage anyway by doing that backdash, down 2, whatever it is I want to do, right, into a combo. The threat of button versus grab, which can land big damage or KBs, can be quite scary if I land something like a launch, like a jump kick into the corner, far toss, delay, grab, and I've got KB. It actually creates a pretty impressive sequence because it is incredibly plus on hit. Now, this is layer 1. There might be other things to it, but, I mean, you can go for it twice, but it's an expensive sequence. Let's say I go for a combo here. I go for an up ball, dash in. Actually, I even did it too early there. Let's do the same thing again. Up ball. Far throw, plus as hell. Grab, KB. Into potential deletion. But it was a 2-bar sequence. The combo did 30% damage, and then the KB afterwards was great. And, you know, that is a situation where you can just go into the ball and then throw them bar. You know, if they try and tech, you can confirm these mids or whatever the case might be. But I really wanted to just kind of finish the video by getting this out there because it's something that could be scary, but I haven't really labbed it much. This is kind of like the next thing I'm working on. And hey, if it helps you out, then maybe you can find it first. I'd love to know. So that is the kind of weather ball, the way I like it. The fact that you have this variation, I actually really do like taking the up Geyser and the weather ball because you can kind of put them together. You can do things like Geyser, down ball, you know, into combo ender, whatever you want. That's not very practical damage, but it looks cool. You can put all of the launchers together. You can still use the super kick because you can do the kind of anti-breaker stuff that I covered in the last video. That is still there. The jump kick option select, without question, your best move off the jump kick OS is the super kick because of a lot of heights, it allows you to, you know, get these combos in all these situations. But if your grounded confirms are here, boom, boom, you can do whatever you want. You can get impressive damage. You can get whatever you want. You've got these slightly easier combos with the delayed back 1, and then this into the ender. Or you've got the slightly harder combos with the up 2 into uppercut, whatever you want to do, you know. Even I'm still kind of figuring out the slightly smaller hurtbox versions of these combos because they're not easy to do, but well worth it for just squeezing out that extra piece of damage. And then the technique I started off with just doing Amplify, just in case it hits, and being ready for the follow-up combo and all that good stuff. So hopefully this has kind of helped you a little bit, kind of wrap your head around the weather ball. It is really fun to use, and I suggest you give it a go if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Let me know what you want next. I'm curious to see what you think of this one.